everyone, welcome to the video session of Introduction to Event Management. Today we will be focusing on the part 2 of module 2, which comprises of the event budget and event checklist. So let's begin with the event budget, how to predict the financial outcome of the event. Event budget is a projection or forecast of the income and the expenditure that the event will incur based on the plans made and the information gathered. So, deciding the budget of the event is a main and important part of the event management. The event directors will have to predict that the event will result in profit, loss, or will even make a break-even point. So, this particular thing is achieved by identifying and comparing all the possible expenditures and revenues of the event. And this process has to be done in the very early stage of planning. So, let's have a look on the basic event budgeting rules. The first rule is budget to avoid making a loss. When an event is likely to look as making a loss, then there is a question whether to take this event ahead according to the existing plan or not. So for this, if it is not too late, then the plans should be changed so that the event will at least reach to its break-even point. The next is be realistic about the event incomes. Now, event plans are far too optimistic when it comes to achieving about the sponsorship incomes or the amount of the sponsorship or the people involved in the event. So you need to be realistic enough while estimating the sponsorship amount and the people involved in the event. And the next is have a contingency plan. You always have a contingency plan or a backup plan ready while you are making the proposal of the event. So let's take an example that what happens if the sponsorship pulls out or if there is a bad weather condition. So for such circumstances, you always need to have a contingency plan with you. Now let's have a look on the typical event expenditure. Now the event cost depends upon the type and the scale of the event. And it is not necessary that all the typical expenditures which I have mentioned here is applied to each and every event. Let's have a look. The first is travel and accommodation charges or the cost. So the travel and accommodation facilities has to be borne by the event organizers, which you are offering to your officials, delegates, the event staff at the time of the event. The next is trophies and awards. Now the cost of medal, certificate, trophies and awards has to be borne by the event management company if any competition is involved in the event. Next is the salaries. The salaries that you pay to your professional staff, to your team members as well as the employees of the company. Postage and telephone. Postage and telephone cost involves the communication charges which is involved in the event. That is the communication equipments which you are using or you are hiring. That is the hiring of mobile phones or walkie-talkies, etc. The next is stationery. Now stationery is the basic stationery which is involved in your special event. Next is the medical fees. So medical fees is very much important. You must have a training of first aid person kept in your event. Along whenever you are organizing a large scale event, you must also have a doctor and physiotherapist with you. Next is the venue hiring. Now this is the important aspect of event management. Whenever you're going for hiring the venue, you must be aware of the hidden costs which are involved in this. For example, the cost for security, for parking, for heating and lighting. Next is insurance. Now it is very much important that you have the insurance to cover the risk of injury and the financial loss in the event. The next is the printing expenses. The printing of flyers, posters, hoardings which is involved in the event. Next is the promotion. Now promotion cost includes the advertising cost, the cost which you are paying for the advertising promotional strategies for print media as well. Next is the equipment hiring. Whenever you are making the contracts with your vendor, it involves the equipment cost, the hiring of the equipments which you are hiring for your team members along with your participants involved in the event. And the last is the transportation cost. Now, transportation means the cost which is involved as transporting the goods from one place to another, transporting the equipments or transporting the hiring of the vehicles. The next is the category of event income. Now, from where you can get the income while you are running the event. So the first is government grant. Now, to obtain the government grant for the successful running of the event is not an easy task. The event manager must demonstrate the strategic regional importance for the same, that whether your event will provide the strategic regional importance. For example, any tourism is involved in your event, or if you're organizing an international event, how many number of tourism or tourists will come and attend your event. Next is the sponsorship. You need to be very professional while you are approaching to the sponsorship. You need to decide, you need to be aware that what all services, what all promotional services you are providing to your sponsoring companies. Next is the merchandising sales. Now, merchandising sales refers to the sale of the range of products which identifies the event or the organization that is organizing the event. Now, it involves the trademark of the company's logo or the event on the t-shirts or caps or any other materials involved in the event. Now, merchandising of the sale is a suitable income when your event is a large-scale event or it involves a large number of players or participants. Next is the participant fees. Now, it is a basic registration fees which you take from your participant or the target audience or the people involved in it. And this basic fees is used to cover the basic expenses of venue hiring and other equipment purchasing. Next is the raffles. Now, raffle is the number of ticket sales, the money which is acquired by selling the numbered tickets, and from those numbered tickets, a ticket is drawn at a random, and that particular ticket holder wins a prize. So raffles are generally regulated by the government as there is a chance of fraud or misrepresentation. So this was all about the budget expenses and the budget incomes. Next we move on to is the event checklist. Checklist will ensure that all the aspects of the event are considered and adequately addressed in the planning stages. It includes all the different types and aspects of the event such as venues, equipment, staffing, communication, catering. We'll see detail in the given example. Example of event checklist. First is the planning. In planning, what all activities you need to perform? That is event plans. You make objectives. You make the timeline of the event, budget, target audience. You need to identify your target audience and you need to select your venue as well. Operations. You have to contact the police. You have to go for the insurance, the security, transportation or the parking facilities along with the risk management. While consulting with the stakeholders, you need to manage and you need to organize the meetings with the clients and sponsors. Publicity and promotion, that is the promotion or advertising on social media or print media along with the invitation to your guest. Sponsorship and merchandise. Now, sponsorship strategies, potential sponsors when you are seeking for the funds and along with the vendor management. And the last is the permit, that is the government permits for alcohol or using the sound system in the street or using the public property. So the next is the advantages of preparing the checklist. First is organization. As you prepare checklist, you are well organized as each and every activity is required and it is recorded in the stepwise manner. Next, it avoids the confusion. Now, whenever the activities are delegated to the task members, they perform the task according to the timeline and the checklist. So it avoids the confusion. Next is the efficiency. It enhances the efficiency and make the works quickly as you are easily able to perform the repetitive task. Next is the delegation. Easy delegation. It becomes easy to bifurcate the task into specific task and then you need to delegate to the task to the team members. And last is the effective time management. As you are able to complete the activities or complete the competitive task quickly and clearly, you will have more time to think creative about your event. And this was all about the event budget and the event checklist. So, the further parts of module 2 will be discussed in the next video sessions. Thank you.